There is such an interest in self-defense nationwide. There's so many people getting their concealed carry permits. A lot of people are going out to the range. Many are buying a gun for the first time for self-defense. And going to the range is great, and I encourage you to do that as often as you can, as often as you can afford. But there is nothing that will replace getting really sound instruction. Now, I've been going to the shooting range here lately with my buddy Robbie Wheaton, which is not only a master gunsmith, but also a champion 3-gun and IPDA and other shooting sport competitions. And just an incredible shooter, very fast, very accurate, and also a former Marine. So Robbie has a really good rounded knowledge of firearms and how to use them. And because of that, he started this school called Train to Shoot, and it's traintoshoot.com is where you can find it. And we've done a video just recently where we've just taken the basics, very rudimentary, how to grip your pistol, your stance, doing just some drills, and we've decided we were going to put this on video just to show you guys, for you to be able not only to take this video and to practice and do what the instruction says, but also to take it to another level and to get you some instruction.
Today we're going to go over some basics with the handgun. We're going to talk about the grip, the draw, and the stance. So we'll start with, we'll just start right into it. We'll get into some of the basics. We've got your handgun here in the holster. You've got a level 3 holster. Okay. So go ahead and unlock your holster. There we go. I want you to come down with your hand. You want the web of your hand here. You can see this is the web of the hand. You want the web of the hand to be as high in the beaver tail area here as you can possibly get. So press your hand down into the web. Get a firm grip on the gun. Come out of the holster with the pistol. Now I want you to turn the gun this way, okay? While you're doing that, the simultaneous motion, your left hand should come up to your chest just about your sternum, okay? When I'm first teaching someone how to shoot, the hand will come up and brush the sternum for a reference point and grab the handgun. Now with your grip, I want you to come off of your chest with your support hand here, under the gun, wrap it, both of your thumbs pointed forward at the target, and press the gun straight to the target. Your support hand or your weak hand, you want about 70 to 80% of your gripping strength to be with your weak hand, your support hand, and about 20 to 30% with your dominant hand, your right or left hand, depending on which hand your dominant hand is. So you want about 70 to 80% with your support or your weak hand, and 20 to 30% with your strong hand. And what that's going to do is help the sights of the gun to track straight up and down as you're shooting, instead of the gun torquing off to the right or off to the left. All right, so let's holster back up, and we'll get you to go through those a couple of times. Just slow speed, maybe 25%. Just working primarily on fundamentals, where you go to here, to here, to here, back to the holster, back to your side, and just walk through it. Build the position out. See the sights, a good sight picture. Build the position in reverse, reholster the gun, and hands relaxed at sides. So let's work through that 2 or 3 times. Okay. Now, a couple little things that I saw you doing. When you would grab the gun, your hand was coming up, everything looked good here. You clear the holster, turn the gun, your grip, and as you were pressing the gun out, you're coming down like this. You're bringing your whole body down to the gun, and then the gun up to your eyes. And what that does, you're adding movement. You've got 2 things going on at once. Your body's compressing and the gun's coming up to the target, which makes it harder for you to align the sights quickly. What you want to do is keep your upper body, all of this up here should stay perfectly still. You grab the gun and bring the gun to your eyes. And what that does by bringing the gun to your eyes is it isolates movement from your body. The only thing that's moving are your arms and the firearm going to the target. Your upper body will stay perfectly still, and that'll allow you to pick the sights up and be able to get the first shot off quicker. So let's walk back through it a couple more times at about 25%. hold that position for just a second. You see how you've got your elbows locked all the way out. You feel a lot of tension in your arms here and here. What you want to do is you want to relax your arms just a little bit, and what that's going to do is it's going to relax your shooting position. It's going to relax your grip up here, and it's going to stabilize the gun so the gun's not moving around as much. And it's also going to allow you to control the recoil of the gun a lot better. Okay, go ahead. Relax the arms just a little bit, just a slight bend in your elbow. Okay, go ahead and reholster. Now, an easy way to look at this is if you're pointing at something, you bring your arm up, you point at a target or anything. When you're pointing, you've always got a slight bend in your arm. You don't extend your arm all the way out and you're like, you bring your arm up and you point. You've got a slight bend in your arm. Everything's relaxed. So, and that's the same thing that you want to see with your firearm when you extend it out. That slight bend where you've just got a nice comfortable position with your arm here. That's the angle that you want to have with your grip. And when you point at something, just try it with a couple of different hands, your right hand with your left hand, back and forth. Look at your arm position, the position where your elbow is, and that's how you should be holding your gun. That's going to be the most comfortable position for you.
Right.
And see where your elbows are and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, and notice how when you point, your wrist naturally turns in. You don't point with your hand straight up, it naturally turns in. So when you're shooting strong hand or weak hand, you're going to shoot strong hand or weak hand the same way. You'll take a step. If you're shooting with your right hand, you're going to take a slight step back with your right foot to give you support. You're going to draw the gun, present the gun to the target, the same bend in your arm. The pistol will be canted in slightly. It's going to give you a better sight picture, and you'll be able to shoot the gun a lot faster. Now, also what you want to do if you're shooting right hand only is you want to shoot into your body. You don't want to shoot away from your body. You shoot into your body, and it allows you to control the recoil of the gun a lot better. If you shoot away from your body, by the time your arm gets out here, the gun's jumping all over the place. It's hard to control. So you always want to shoot into your body as you're engaging a target. And same thing when you're shooting support hand or weak hand. Step back with your left foot, engage the target, slight bend in your arm, slight bend in your wrist. The sights are canted inward just a little bit, and with that you'll shoot left to right, engaging the targets, and that allows you to control the gun a lot better. We're just going to draw, shoot around in the head. We'll do that 3 times, and I just want you to do it about 25%, focusing on your fundamentals, your grip, your draw. Make sure you get your hand high in the web of the gun and seeing a good sight picture and breaking a good shot, okay? Shooter ready, stand by. I know even at 25%, I'm sure that felt like it took an eternity after the beep for you to get your hand on the gun, get the gun out, and fire the 1 round on the target. But that was 2.3 seconds, even at 25%, to do a nice slow grip, draw, and fire a round. And you're seeing everything that needs to happen with the proper grip, the proper stance, coming out of the holster, turning the gun, seeing the sights, and engaging the target. And all of that's happening in 2.5 seconds with you just taking your time with it. So let's speed it up a little bit this time, and we're gonna do we'll do 3 sets of draws and engage the target at full speed. And same thing. Even though you're running at 90 to 100%, make sure you're getting a good grip on the gun, a good turn, a good press, a good sight picture, and then break the shot. Okay. Shooter ready. Stand by.
Okay, it was sloppy.
It was 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it. Shooter ready. Stand by. 1.49. We cut about 1 second off of it that time you had engaged the level 3 function on the holster, and that added a little bit more time into it, and you added about a second, went up to a 2.8 to have to disengage the level 3 feature on the holster and to clear the holster with the firearm. So the safety features are, they're good and bad. You know, they're good for retaining the gun and keeping an unauthorized person from getting to the gun, but they do add a little bit of time for you to get the gun out of the holster. And you know, it's one of those things that you do have to train and dry fire more with to get really proficient with it, to be able to clear that gun from the holster as fast as possible.
Right.
Shooter ready? Stand by. Very nice. 1.7. 1.8. Shooter ready? Stand by. 1.8. So very consistent with your draws with the when you flip the level 3 system off and you're just drawing 1.7, 1.8 every time is very consistent. You've got a nice 2-inch group or so on the target there, and you know, right now we're at about 4 yards from the target, which is a very typical engagement distance with a handgun if you're in a defensive situation. So you've done a very good job engaging the target and putting rounds on it, and good shooting. Thank you. All right, Don. Now let's talk a little bit about a couple of different grips. The two most predominant ones out there are the Weaver stance and the modern or modified Isosceles stance. I teach my students the modern or modified Isosceles stance with a handgun just because it's a more neutral, a more relaxed shooting position, that it allows you to shoot static as well as shooting on the move a lot more fluidly than the Weaver stance. And so we'll move into the Weaver stance, and I'll show you some of the benefits and some of the drawbacks of that, and then we'll transition into the modern or modified Isosceles stance, and I'll show you some of the benefits of that. Okay, good. So with to start off first with the Weaver stance. The Weaver stance is it's a pretty old technique that a lot of people still teach. It's a push-pull type technique where you've got your support foot or your weak side foot is forward, your dominant leg is back, your strong arm has the gun pressed all the way out to the target, and your support side or your weak hand is either under the gun or finger on the front of the trigger guard, and you're locked out with this arm locked out. This arm here is pulling back toward yourself. So you've got a very, very locked in position here. And what that does is it creates a lot of tension in your hands, a lot of tension in the gun, a lot of tension in your upper and lower body, because everything is tense and pressed out and really bearing down on the gun, really driving the gun into the target. For up close shooting, this can allow you to shoot really fast, but it can also allow you to have trigger freeze with the gun, where your finger's not letting off far enough to reset the trigger, or you can pin the trigger to the rear, and it really causes a lot of problems. It's an antiquated shooting style that has been far surpassed by the modern or the modified Isosceles stance. Another problem with the Weaver stance, if you're in position, you're locked out with the gun, if you have to move, you've got all this tension in your body, now you have to move, you're not going to be able to keep the gun out, locked on the target, and move without breaking position because of the tension in your upper body. So now you have to break your position to move, reset up, and reacquire the target, which is, it can be detrimental to your health. So what we teach is the modern or the modified Isosceles, and what that position is, it's real similar to a boxer's stance, or even a stance like a golfer uses. It's your feet are about shoulder width apart. Your weight is going to be forward up on the balls of your toes. So your heels will still be on the ground, but the easy way to explain it is to raise up off the ground on your toes and then step back down until your heels touch the ground, but you want to keep your weight forward. Knees slightly bent. When you draw the gun will come out of the holster, and what you want to form with your arms is a triangle. Comes up straight across your chest, and back down on this side. So you've got a nice triangle, and you bring that triangle up, and that triangle will always remain your shooting position, whether you're engaging straight ahead or off to the side. That your torso moves, but your arms stay the same. So if you're shooting around a barricade, you lean out. Other side, you lean out, but your base triangle here will always remain the same. So the handgun comes out of the holster, weights forward on your toes, feet are about shoulder width apart. Hand comes in under the trigger guard, wraps around, thumbs point at the target, gun comes out, nice triangle. All of your upper body is relaxed. You don't have any tension here. So if I've got the gun on the target, now I need to move, all I have to do is move. Everything stays on target. I'm able to shoot while I'm moving without having to stop and reacquire another position or another grip on the gun. So let's do a couple of runs with this, just to kind of show you how the stance works. We'll just do some static shooting positions, and let you guys see how the modern or the modified Isosceles works as far as allowing you to shoot the gun, shoot it fast, and shoot it accurately.
Shooter ready?
Yep. Okay.
Shooter ready?
Mm-hmm. Do a couple more of those. Okay. Okay. We'll do a couple more of those. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Okay. Where are we time-wise with that? 1 second flat on that.
Wow.
So, you know, that's just a nice smooth out of the holster, put rounds in the target. Everything stays nice and relaxed. It's just a great position to shoot from. And you know, you've got the same thing. We'll do a little live fire session here with me moving, just to kind of show everyone how easy it is to shoot from that position while you're moving. So you've got everything's in your holster, target's out here in front of you, hands are at your sides, come out of the holster with the gun, engage the target. Very simple, very easy to move. The gun stays nice and flat, and you've got a ton of control over the gun, and your body is nice and loose up top, so it's easy to see the sights, it's easy to track the target. Your head's in an upright position, so you're not closing your vision down by compressing. You can see the target, you can see your surroundings. It's just a great shooting position all the way around.
Now this was just the basic pistol. There's a lot more to this course. We just wanted to show some of it, and we wanted to give you some meat, not just little tidbits, but we wanted to give you some things that you could take and use, but also to whet your appetite. So check out traintoshoot.com. Look for the different classes that Robbie offers. Mike Moore, which is one of his instructors, incredible ranger for over 24 years, also in law enforcement for 12 years, just an incredible instructor as well. And they are really putting together a good team of instructors that will really help you and take you to the next level. I don't care if you're just bare bones basic, all the way up to if you are really an accomplished shooter. So check out traintoshoot.com for all the different courses and the schedules, and check it out. You'll probably see me there if you sign up, because I'm doing a lot of stuff with these guys too, because to me, training is just vital. And having the confidence and the attitude is so important, and that's the only place you're going to get it, is really training and taking confidence in your ability. Guys, the world's not getting any better, and so we need to take our defense into our own hands, not only for ourselves, but also for our families. We want the good guys to be proficient with their firearms, so please get training. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Mike Moore, which is one of his instructors, was a He wasn't playing around either.